let's just move on because there's not much to say. They're great. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll talk more about them in the deep dive. Let's go back up north.
Minnesota.
Correct.
I was not going to let that happen again twice.
um, so players in Cam Dunbar from LA. Joseph Rosales was made permanent. Clint Irwin in free agency. Zarek Valentin in free agency. Daniil Henry off of waivers. A super draft pick. And Michael Marquez from, I believe he was playing in Finland. That seems like a Finnish name. On the way out, Azil Jackson to St. Louis. I think one of their bigger losses is Azil Jackson. Um, Abu Danladi, Ja'Cory Hayes, Nico Hansen, O'Neal Fisher, Tyler Miller, Justin McMaster, Romain Metanier, Callum Montgomery, and Jonathan Gonzalez. Rumors for this team, another team with some rumors right now. Miguel Tapias, a center back from Pachuca, is rumored to be in communications, as well as Jae Sung Cho, a striker from South Korea who had an absolute, if I remember correctly, an absolute worldie of a World Cup. I believe he scored. Yes, he scored the brace in the 2-3 game against Ghana for South Korea. He he's got 16 goals, 6 assists in 3,000 Korean League minutes. Tons of people are interested in him, but if they can get it over the line, I think that's a massive move. But tell me what else they need.
I would like to see them get a left back. I don't love Kamar Lawrence there. I think he has not nearly been the same player as when he was at Red Bull. Um, and I would
I'm
like to
cutting. I'm cutting you. I'm
see.
cutting you off. You're off the pod. Nobody speaks poorly about Kamar Lawrence on my podcast. Get off.
Listen, I complimented his RBNY days. Now he's with an enemy of the pod. So,
Okay, fair. Go on. Continue.
um, and then I don't exactly know how Minnesota lines up, but if they play with wingers, they could definitely use some more wingers here. Really, the only starting quality player I see is Fragapane, but then otherwise it's just Cameron Dunbar and Patrick Weah. So if they don't play with wingers, then obviously that doesn't really matter. But if they are planning to play with wingers, or if they want the ability to, oh yeah, they have Robin Lod as well. Then I think that they should look to build a little bit more depth on the wings.
Yeah, for me, first off, they need to apologize. They need to apologize to the pod, um, and maybe we take you off enemy status. But they also really they just need Cho to be confirmed, right? If you can get this striker over the line, I think you now have almost everybody you would need for a great team. You got Dane St. Clair. Daniil Henry slides into a Minnesota team with either Boxall or if DeBossi is healthy, I think maybe a little bit more center back depth would be nice. But even Kamar Lawrence can slide in there if you need him to. Um, Zarek Valentin will take over that right back spot with Kamar Lawrence on the other side. Kevin Arriaga is still in there. Dotson's coming back from injury. Joe Rosales, Will Trapp. Um, and then you're looking at, Reynoso possibly in the attacking. Maybe if they think they might want to win, they might play him as an attacking midfielder. I don't know. Fragapane is still in there. I would like to see Patrick Weah get healthy and get a ton of minutes. I think he's got a lot of potential. But really, it's Luis Amaria who did well, but you need a second option because when he goes cold, Long Wane didn't do it. So if you can get Cho across the line and get Tapias in as another center back, I think it's a pretty good team. They will still finish bottom of the West, but I think they're pretty
I wish they had a little bit of younger options at center back. They have very aging center backs.
good. Mm-hmm.
33, 29, 32, 34. I know they did bring in Marquez, but I'm not overly in love with that move either.
Yeah, I'm not sure how he transitions in right now because I've seen him kind of flexed both as um a right back and a center back, if I remember correctly. Um, so Not quite sure where they see him right now. My guess is center back depth, but again, where does he fit in? 21 years old, playing in the Swedish league, Swedish second division, excuse me. Um, and I know all of our listeners will look at this and say, well, he's a second division Swedish player, which means he's the best player in MLS because Eurosnub is. Don't think that translates very well. Now, I could be wrong, but this guy looks like he might be one for the future. We'll see.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
Um, grades, very easy. This is an F, the worst transfer window of the. No, I'm just kidding.
Flip it.
It's a it's a C plus for me. They did lose a lot of pieces, but they were mainly depth pieces, right? Abadan Ladi, I said the second they signed him was bad decision. He didn't do anything great. Ja'Cory Hayes, couple of appearances, not too much. Nico Hansen, depth piece. O'Neal Fisher, depth piece. Tyler Miller, backup goalkeeper. Justin McMaster didn't get too much time. Metnier didn't play much at all last year, so this is not as big of a loss as it was in 2019. He was the world's best fantasy right back. Callum Montgomery, backup goalkeeper. Backup center back, excuse me. Jonathan Gonzalez on loan. Never really was going to pan out anyway. Azil Jackson's my big loss. I really wanted to see him play for Minnesota, but I'm glad he's still in the league, and I think he will blow up with St. Louis. But we'll talk about that later. Again, decent additions coming in, improvements on everybody that's left. They just need to get Cho across the line.
Yeah, I have them at a C plus also. I think it was an okay window for them. I think they probably gained just about as much as they lost. And I don't think in either direction. I don't think they gained anything that's game changing, and I don't think they lost anything that's going to completely ruin the team. So kind of middle of the pack, low C plus maybe for me.